Okay, well, welcome to the annual parish meeting for 2026. Just to be clear, this is not a parish council meeting. The annual parish meeting is actually a meeting of residents. And by law, every parish has to have one between the 1st of March and the 1st of June each year. There's no prescribed format to the meeting, but the way we normally do it is there's a chairman's report on what's been happening in the village, the ward councillor, and the police, and then other village organisations will speak just to let the village know what's happening. So for those of you here, don't be put off by the relatively small attendance. Hopefully this is being live streamed out, and it will get a larger audience either now or subsequently. So I'll start then by introducing Conor Bradish. I'm going to switch the video off for this, but there you go, Conor.
Thank you.
Please report.
Hello, everyone. So I've been temporarily looking after Castlethorpe since Tilly left. You've now got a new PCSO who's going to be looking after Castlethorpe, Havisham, Hanslope, and the villages of the west, named Joe Clark. Some of you might have met her. I think, Alison, you have. So I've got your crime stats here from the 3rd of February to the 12th of April. So I'll just cover those now. So the crimes that have taken place, which is 1 public order and 1 theft of motor vehicle. The vehicle wasn't taken, it was an attempted theft of a motor vehicle. We have since given words of advice, tried to do CCTV inquiries, ANPR inquiries, and unfortunately we didn't get too much further with that. We've given advice to the resident just surrounding sort of vehicle safety and the right tools to prevent something like that from happening again, hopefully. The other incidents, which aren't crimes but have happened within Castlethorpe. So we've had 3 accounts of antisocial behaviour. So antisocial behaviour gets split into 3. You've got items that affect people directly, which is personal, items which affect the environment, the local area, and ones that affect the community. So that could be things like driving and other things like that. So you've had 2 community ASBs, one of which is scrambler bikes riding around, and one of which is DPD vans driving quickly through Castlethorpe. It's been quite a difficult one to address. I've directly gone to DPD today, so I'm hopefully going to get an answer at some point. The ASB, we've had 1 ASB personal as well. Some of the other incidents we're seeing in surrounding villages, in Emberton, we're seeing a number of burglaries, particularly on farmyard equipment. So if you have got items like bikes, quad bikes, any sort of farm machinery, please make sure that you're keeping it safe. Attempted burglaries in Lavendon and Ravenstone, and then we've had fly tipping of cannabis stalks in Emberton. Has anyone got any questions for Thames Valley Police? No?
Do you want to publicise there's a Have You Say event on Friday, isn't there?
There is a Have Your Say on Saturday the 18th at Emberton Cafe, which is going to be happening from 2 till 4.
Okay, it's not one in Newport Pagnell on.
There might be one in Newport. I don't know off the top of my head. They're all on the Thames Valley area. So the Newport Pagnell team may have put one on for Friday. Obviously, everyone's welcome to attend, and if they've got any questions or want to meet the local team, then please feel free to attend.
Okay, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
That's great, thank you. Right. Okay, so we'll come back for the. I should say, by the way, that any reports that are given to Jackie will be published on the website, so that people can read them afterwards if they don't catch the words actually given now. Let me swizzle this round so that.
There we go. Thanks, Phil. So I'm Councillor Alison Andrew. I'm your ward councillor. Just a few updates from me on some of the things that have been going on. So you've seen there's quite a lot of fixes going on the roads. We've had a really awful spring, end of winter, and through lots of work with Milton Keynes Highways, but also lots of residents really rolling up their sleeves and reporting issues. We're getting lots of fixes done, and it would be a big help wherever we see problems, because they can spring up quite quickly. Go onto the Milton Keynes website, do report them, given a precise location. A photo, if you can, is really helpful to illustrate how deep they are and where they are in the road, because those are 2 of the things that are taken into consideration. There's still quite a few more fixes to go, but the good news is the bottom of Bullington End Road is going to get resurfaced this financial year at long last. And again, thanks to the residents who worked with me on that one. One of the big things that's been going on is Station Road, where the traffic lights are on the bridges on the way to the navigation. Milton Keynes border actually goes up to that first bridge, and then it's West North Ants. So I've had the delight of not only working with one council, but two, which is why I'm looking so aged and haggard. However, all things being equal, that will be closed from the 11th of May till the 29th of May. Perhaps a little bit longer, perhaps a little bit shorter, depending how they go, because the wing wall is going to be rebuilt and 350 metres of the road completely resurfaced. So I've been putting it on leaflets, putting it on social. It will cause a lot of diversions for people for a significant amount of time. There will be no pushing barriers out the way and sneaking on through. It will be completely closed. So if you've got friends, family, carers, whoever, if you're going to Stony, Toaster, you will have to make alternative arrangements. Some of the other things that we've been working on as well with the lovely local Thames Valley team. One of the things we want to do is make sure that the villagers aren't forgotten about. We've had the Police and Crime Commissioner up here giving a talk. We've had the help talks to avoid scams online and by phone, which are increasingly a problem. They've been incredibly helpful, also coming up doing tool marking and bike marking events to try and avoid people having items stolen. I've been out with them a couple of times as well. Contrary to popular opinion, they are actually out pulling people for speeding, much to my horror when I was actually in the car and hopefully wasn't going to see a resident that I knew. One of the other big things that is coming up is the new towns consultation. So this isn't parish, this isn't city, this is national government, and where they've said that they are looking at their new towns. There is a consultation that is currently open by the government. The closing date is the 19th of May. I've just been talking about it down at Hanslope Parish Council meeting, which I'm about to go back to. And there is plans on the table, a memorandum of understanding, which isn't a legally binding document, but it is an agreement between the council and the three sets of developers who own and have options on the land between kind of Devil's Dip, Havisham, Hanslope Park, actually potentially all the way to Tattle End, to build a lot more houses. It's something that I'm very much against. If anybody would like details of how to take part in the consultation, just Google New Towns consultation, or find me, because I will happily give you all the information you can to lend your voice to stop it. We've got a lot of unbuilt houses already. Crack on with them, is my opinion. So that's about it. And obviously I'll continue to help the parish council wherever I can. Oh, and the lights are all on in Castlethorpe. I got an email finally, and it has to be said, I had a little happy dance in the kitchen and a gin. So that was great news.
Yeah.
There we go.
When you said about Station Road being shut for a month,
It's for 2.5 weeks, yeah.
that totally closed day and night.
Totally closed day and night, because where those traffic lights have been is actually stop people driving on them, not as actually traffic measurements, because that wing wall has been damaged through a combination of weather, weight and frequency of traffic. So it's going to have to be rebuilt and then the whole thing resurfaced. But hopefully, once it's resurfaced, we can all get our roller skates on and really enjoy whizzing through there.
Good. Good.
Is there an update on Little Inford as well? Talking about road closures.
What's that? Oh, Little Inford. So the update on Little Inford is that it will be closed until at least the 30th of June. The bridge, again, if you've seen the photos, it was really severely damaged. And the problem is there's no problem with funding. Hurrah, for a change, because the car that did the damage, insurance is going to be paying for it. The biggest problem that the council have had, and their contractors will fix it, is that we've had such a lot of rain that if you've seen any of the rivers around here, it's been high, but also huge currents going through. And when you see the damage, workmen are actually going to have to get in to the river to scaffold it. And when it's not safe to do, I don't think anybody would want us risking that. But the latest update is, yes, it will still be closed till at least the 30th of June. It's going to be weather dependent on what happens. But again, I will keep everybody informed of any updates from that, because I know it's a huge inconvenience of time and cost as well to a lot of people going to jobs and schools and friends and all that kind of thing. Anything else?
Now, I just pick up on the new towns. I was going to mention it myself. In my report, which, as I say, they'll all be published, there will be a map showing where it is, and I've also got the link for the consultation in there.
Brilliant.
So people will be able to see that.
Yes, and I think there'll be quite a few of us rolling up our sleeves and making our objections. And if anybody would like to take part, it will take not just a village, it will take villages.
Yeah.
So again, Phil can send the details. Anyone can contact me on them as well, because I think it'll be a good old fight for us.
Yeah. I'm also hoping that Chris Curtis will come and have a meeting with Havisham, Hanslope and ourselves to discuss this, because there's a little bit of confusion about exactly how much is being built and when.
Absolutely. I have spoken to the MP, Chris Curtis, about it. He seems to think it's coming. And I said, good, so's a fight. There we go.
Okay,
Right.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, I'll give the chair's report to the village. First of all, on the parish council side, we've had two new councillors in the past year, being Luke Stacey, who replaced Ian Markham, who passed away about this time last year, and Cameron Burton, who's here with us, who replaces Russell Forgem, who is also here with us. Russell retired in January after giving long service, both as a councillor and indeed managing our website and other social communications. The first topic is the pavilion. The pavilion was built by the parish council and it's leased to Castlethorpe Community Space, community interest company, which equipped it and let it to a tenant. The pavilion opened in March 2025 and was very well supported by the village. Disappointingly, though, the tenant was unable to make a commercial success and had to surrender the lease in July. It was then taken over by a second tenant who again enjoyed great support from the village in the first 3 months, but then his custom dropped sharply and became unviable. And CCS eventually had to terminate the tenancy agreement after the non-payment of rent in January. A general meeting of the Castlethorpe Community Space Company was held on the 5th of February when a report was given to members, and the meeting is still available to view on the Parish Council YouTube channel. And a new board of directors was elected, being Catherine McDermott, who is now chair, Steve Bradbury, vice chair, Gordon Fleming, who's the company secretary, myself, Phil Ailes, treasurer, Geordie Barry, Debbie Lloyd, Matt Malloy, and Luke Stacey. Unfortunately, when CCS took possession of the premises, it was in very poor condition with the water disconnected, again for non-payment of bills. And the new board had to spend some considerable time clearing the tenants' unwanted property and extensive exterior rubbish. It took 6 weeks for the parish council, Jackie, to get the water reconnected because the supplier wanted us to pay the back bill, which we refused to do, and eventually Jackie won. After which it was possible to get the premises and the kitchen in particular professionally cleaned, which is now being done, and the damaged paintwork repaired and equipment serviced. That work is still in progress. CCS is just about now to start advertising for a new tenant. It is confident that with the level of support previously demonstrated by the village, the pavilion can be operated viably, providing it chooses the right tenant. So that's the big thing. It will take time, and I think it is unlikely that the pavilion will open much before late June. It just takes time to go through that process. Also at the pavilion, but actually not to do with the pavilion CCS, community space, the parish council was successful in obtaining a national lottery grant to install solar panels on the roof of the cricket pavilion and the Pavilion Bar and Cafe. And we're now seeking bids to do that. The Parish Council will own the panels and sell the generated electricity to the tenant or back to the grid. Separately, the Parish Council has also been successful in obtaining a 50% Milton Keynes Council grant to install solar bollards like the two at the Thrupp Close end, along the sports ground footpath up to the Lodge Farm Court end. Village shop. The village shop is owned by the village, again through a community interest company. This one is called Castlethorpe Village Shop Association, or CVSA, and it's on land leased from the Parish Council. The shop was built in 2007 and extended in 2024 by CVSA using various funds and grants, including S106 planning gain. CVSA also equipped the shop in 2007, this is, and subleased it to Udi and Dina, who operate it and pay rent to CVSA, but they do not fund building work or major equipment. After the significant expenditure on the extension and the new fridges and freezers, which we reported on last year, funds have been recovering rather slowly. This is CVSA funds. Additional expenditure is in the planning stage, and possible projects include, again, rooftop solar panels, new external racking and awnings, improved CCTV coverage, and some new signage. In fact, also, we are going to be putting in an air conditioning unit in there because it does get very hot in summer, and it will be a heater as well, so warm it slightly to keep Udi warm in winter. There is a new website that CVSA have created at www.castlethorpeshop, in one word, .co.uk. It's been launched, and it's also had a recent survey, and that does show that residents have got very high levels of satisfaction with the shop. The CVSA Board of Directors is David Scott, who's the chair, myself, Nikki Birchall, and John Keane. Peter Clark is the company secretary. As the shop is run for the benefit of the village, there are always improvements needed at the shop, as well as some maintenance, and we require some assistance with ideas, getting quotes, and or some handyman skills. This is an occasional rather than a regular commitment, and please contact any board member or Peter if you feel you can help. And I should say, as a result of the survey, Peter tells us that 7 people have actually volunteered to help from time to time. It's usually sort of relatively minor work, but it just has to be done. And we don't want to spend what limited funds we've got, externally if we can avoid it. I'll pull in the next section, beautiful Castlethorpe. It's very appropriate. We came second in our class, villages with 500 to 1,500 residents, in the 2025 Bucks and Milton Keynes Best Kept Village competition. There were no bad scores. There's a series of topics when they give you a score on each of them. There were no bad scores in there, just 1 or 2 points below the maximum, but it was just enough for someone else, I think it was Merslow, pipped us. We have entered the competition again for 2026. Judging takes place around June, so the request really is if you could tidy up, particularly outside your own property, and if you see rubbish or anything, or old notices on the notice boards, believe it or not, that's one of the scoring points. That will help us in the competition. There's no money that we get from that. It's just pride, really, but it's nice to do well in the competition. Separately, a group of residents, Lawrence Chapman, Mark Evans, Dave Hines, Ollie Sawbridge, have taken the village sign away that blew down a couple of years ago to refurbish it. It will need a new post and frame. We are also progressing some public art funding. This is a slightly controversial category, which comes with any new development, any new large development. A large development is something more than 10 houses, which is not that large. But they have to make a public art contribution. And we're going to put some artwork, mosaics or printed tiles into the bus shelters. That's been done by Jackie, Graham Flagg, Matt Parry, and myself. A couple of new trees have been put in by Luke Stacey. Oh, here he is at the sports ground. And as spring has arrived and trees and bushes are growing again, could I ask residents with streetlights on their boundary to ensure that the herbage doesn't obscure the streetlights, especially onto the pavements? Highways, well, Alison has just spoken about the work that she's done to get the worst potholes in the village sorted out. And she's also talked about the repair of the bridge at the navigation. The parish council has purchased, again with the aid of a grant. We do go for grants to try spending, I'd say your money, but it's actually our money. It's all of us have to pay the precept. A speed indicator device which has been installed on Bullington End Road. So 3 of our 4 entrance roads now have SIDS. The only one that doesn't is Station Road, which has got those narrows all the way along it. And actually average speeds are quite low there, even though people do race to get through them, which is unfortunate. Dave Hines is now organising some community speedwatch volunteers. And if you're interested in doing that, that's basically holding a little speed gun up and recording speeding vehicles, which then get reported through a police system, and drivers basically get warning letters and eventually visits from the police if they continue to speed. So if you're interested in participating in that, please contact Dave. Planning. Now, last year I said that Parish Council and residents were trying to get Gobbies Field designated as a village green to ensure it could be continued to used recreationally. Unfortunately, and I have to say rather inappropriately, the bulk of the field has been included in a Milton Keynes Council minerals plan, and this prevents its designation as a village green. It's a great pity because several people, including Kay Sawbridge, Peter Clark, and Leo Dunwoody, have done a lot of work to collect evidence of use, and many residents had contributed to that. I want to stress that the designation would have been for continued recreational use. Residents are concerned about development, but that's not a reason that you can have a village green. But Gobbies is outside the settlement area of the village, and unless the Milton Keynes local plan, and not the one that's currently being developed, or even our own neighbourhood plan, proposes that it's going to be used for development, housing won't be permitted there. Milton Keynes Council has got a new local plan. It's called the New City Plan, which is in its final stages of approval. It does not affect Castlethorpe, and as I said, doesn't include Gobbies. Now, Alison mentioned the government's New Towns Plan, which includes Milton Keynes as one of them. Each new town is meant to have 40,000 houses. Now, there is some discussion about this, which is why we're trying to get the MP along to help us do this. And the situation is changing because there was a briefing in November by Milton Keynes Council, and then there was a revised update from the government after that. But basically, in my note, which will be published, you'll see a map, and it shows the areas where developers have either bought or have got options to buy land right around Havisham and going right up to Hanslope Park. So it just comes up to the boundary of Castlethorpe. But I would say that the minimum number of houses there is 8,000. You know, it's bigger than Oney. And it could go up to about 15,000 or even more. So it's quite a significant development. Now, there is a consultation, government consultation on that. And as Alison said, you know, it's important that we do respond to it. And I've got the link in my report, or you can Google it, as Alison said. Now, We will work with Havisham on this. They're obviously going to be, frankly, completely obliterated if this thing goes ahead. And they will come up with some recommendations. They will pass that to us, and I'll be taking them to the parish council meeting in May, which is just before the deadline on the 19th, to see if the parish council will support Havisham Parish Council in the objections that are being made to it. This, by the way, includes, a junction 14A at Tattle End. I mean, this is really big stuff. It will have a huge impact. Moving on, ward review. Last year I said that several local parishes had written to the Local Government Boundary Commission for England to object to rural parishes such as ours being put in the same ward as urban parishes such as New Bradwell. And it's really because the needs of the two are just completely different, whether it's public transport or flooding or road repair, almost everything is just completely different. And we put all those differences in a letter to the Boundary Commission, and quite amazingly, they accepted our argument, and exceptionally, I think uniquely, certainly not the Kings, but I think actually might even be nationally, they're giving us a one-member ward for Havisham, Hanslope and Castlethorpe, and a two-member ward for New Bradwell. Elections are on the 7th of May. Polling station will be here at the village hall as usual. I'll just finish on my usual plug for community. We continue to run free afternoon teas every other Wednesday in the village hall from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We call it community, and we lay out the tables together so that residents can and their friends can talk and move around and so on. Do come, but most importantly, if you know someone in the village who doesn't get out often and would welcome some company, perhaps you could bring them or help them to come here. The next dates are the 22nd of April, the 6th and 20th of May, the 3rd and 17th of June, and the 1st and 15th of July. I think we're putting posters up with those new dates. There'll then be a break over the summer holidays back in September. So we've done a lot in the past year to make Castlethorpe a better place to live, and I hope we'll continue with your support to do so in the coming year. So, any questions? Sorry, it's quite lengthy, but any questions? Right. In that case, if we move on to the village organisations, which I think you were here first. Do you want to come up here and speak so I can swizzle round?
Yeah, I can tell people a little bit about what I do, so.
Show us what you do.
No,
Okay. Brilliant. Am I right to? Okay, brilliant. So to anyone who's watching this, hi. So essentially, I'm your local yoga teacher. So I run a hatha yoga class, which is your traditional standard yoga, mat-based yoga, at the village hall on a Monday evening, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Equally, I run a chair yoga class on a Saturday morning. So for anyone whose mat activities are not accessible, we can do yoga on a chair as well. And I will be running an outdoor yoga session on the 21st of June, which is summer solstice, on the cricket outfield. So I spoke with the parish council and the cricket club. They've authorised it, thankfully. So it's 21st of June, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Just a little outdoor yoga session. But yeah, that's essentially what I do in the village.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Great.
Patricia.
Thank you.
Very welcome to have that.
Thank you.
Speak.
Hello, I'm Amy Randall and I have taken over the chairperson's position for Castlethorpe Youth Club. We're now in our 38th year with Castlethorpe having the longest running youth club in Buckinghamshire. and we're open for children from school age year 6 and onwards. I did look to see if we would get Guinness Book of Records, but we don't qualify by far. We've had a major change behind the scenes this year, where Tony Rice and Tracy Jones have stepped down from their very many years of holding their positions of chairman and secretary. I have taken up chairman's role, and Laura Thomas is now youth club secretary. So we continue to run weekly youth club nights, Tuesdays at 7:30 till 9 o'clock throughout term time. And we've seen a steady and consistent level of around 10 to 15 children a week. We did try inviting younger children, year 5s, to see if they would, to see if we could increase the numbers. But we found that the general consensus was it was just slightly too young for us. So, but what we are doing is we are opening registration for the year 5s to join for the last term of the year, so from June to July, to give them a bit of a taster so they're ready for September, and we have better numbers then. We currently have 3 new leaders that joined us this year. So we have 10 leaders all in all, 5 females, 5 males. However, we're always on the lookout for any new volunteers. So anybody that would like to join us, please join. We're lovely. We do have a weekly rota. So the more volunteers we have, the less each volunteer has to do. So also just spread the word as well to anyone you know that might want to do it. Daisy could do it if she wanted to, straight after Zumba.
All right.
We offer lots of fun activities and trips for the children throughout the year. Most recent was a trip to Ninja Warrior. And we continue to support the duck race and run Cows on the Green, where we raised £220 for Willand Hospice this year. Some of our equipment has seen better days, so we're always on the lookout for any new equipment. So if you see any new air hockey or pool tables that are going to be donated, please think of us. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you, and thank you for taking it on, because I know it was absolutely on the edge
It
of
re-
not being able to continue.
It
So
really
we're
was.
very, very grateful to you.
Oh, thank you. No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Are you doing short mat bowls, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. I'm chairman of the Short Mat Bowls Club that meets here on a Friday night at 7:30 till 9:30. It's been a quite difficult year for us this year with 2 deaths in our club, with one being particularly hard because he was a long-standing member and speaker of the community. In a memory, we held a open day and charity day. That's for memory of Sue Nichols, where we raised £200 for Willand Hospice. Because of that open day, we've had 2 new members join, so we're at a net 0 currently this year. We've done all right in the Village League. That's just finished. We came in the middle, or thereabouts, and that's not too bad, because we are one of the smallest, if not the smallest, village club with 16 active members, whereas other teams have upwards of 40. And we're about to start the afternoon Village League, which runs from May till August, and hopefully we'll do all right in that. If you want to join, please come along on a Friday evening. But that's really my update. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there anyone else wanting to speak? No? In that case, oh yes, Yvonne Hand. It's quite shocking to have one of these meetings without Yvonne Hand speaking on WI, and best wishes to her recovery, basically. Yeah. Right, well, in that case, I'll now close the annual parish meeting, and I'll stop this live stream and then restart one for the parish council meeting in a few minutes' time while we just move the tables around. So thank you very much for turning out. Oh, John?
Chair. Can I just say, on behalf of the residents, I think you've done a fantastic job this year as a council. You know, persevered with things I was willing to persevere with. So well done, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very much appreciated, John. Right, let's see if I can stop this.